forensic art. There's a lot to cover. I'm just basically hitting the tip of the iceberg with each category that I have. Just to give you an idea of what I do. So a little bit about myself. I had 15 years on the department. The last 2 years I've been working in internal affairs, so Lieutenant Dorsey is my supervisor. Prior to that, 13 years, I worked on Precinct 11, which is Essex. I was an officer there for 5, and then investigative services unit for 8. And while doing both positions, I've been doing the forensic art for approximately 10 years. Forensic art is an ad hoc position. It is not a full-time position, so I do the forensic art on the side in conjunction with my casework. I am part of an organization called the IAI. It stands for the International Association for Identification. Right now, this is a science organization that certifies every science field you could think of. So whether it's forensic art, it's fingerprints, it's blood spatter, shoe prints, everything. This is the only organization that can certify a forensic artist. And to give you guys an idea, nationwide there are about approximately 200 artists across the nation. Of those 200, as of last month, only 32 of them are certified to do the forensic art. Maryland is very fortunate. We do have 2 of the 32 in Maryland, so myself included, and there is a sergeant down in Charles County. And I currently serve on the forensic art certification committee. Now the guy that's in Charles County is my chairman, so we work together not only with the state of Maryland, but on the certification board itself. Believe it or not, I did not want to be a sketch artist. This is not why I came on the department. I came on to work patrol, to help people in the field, to answer calls for service, to drive the police car, the whole 9 yards. This was kind of thrown in my lap. And here's how I got started. Basically, I was doing caricatures of officers. I was making fun of people. This is one of my, this is the only one I can really find, because I give them away. From 2003, when a scene, SWAT showed up. This is done on a white piece of paper with a magic marker. I just sketched them out, and that's pretty much what I was giving out to people. Like I said, I worked out of Essex, so when headquarters called, I don't know how they knew about all this, but they said, why don't you stop making fun of the good guys and draw to catch the bad guys? And I had no idea how to do any of it. I never went to art school. I never drew a picture before in my life. So I was kind of dumbfounded and didn't know where to really start. So my foundation is in graphite. I draw with pencils. Like I said, I do not have an art degree. I went to college for criminal justice. And I'm self-taught in digital drawing. So basically this is a computer screen. It's very large, the one that I have at my house. And it has a stylus pen that I physically draw on the screen. So it's really no different than pencil and paper, but it gives me a lot more opportunities, especially to use color, and I'll show you later how that's applied. And here are just more examples. Started studying the face, obviously because that's what I was drawing. On your right, my left is my husband. I use my family a lot to practice from, to study muscles off of. I age progressed my son, I don't know how many times, just to practice. So if you're friends on Facebook with me, your images are fair game in my book, so I will Google things, I will draw from them. I've drawn state's attorneys, well, 9 yards. So, and this is just an example of how the drawings start. Like I said, they're basic and they just build right on top of each other. I use Photoshop, so a lot of the layers, I can put hundreds and hundreds of layers, which will benefit me in the end because I can get rid of things so easy. So this system is much easier than pencil and paper. My foundation, mainly I trained under Karen Taylor. How many in here watch CSI, Bones, Forensic Files, on History Channel? Chances are you know her and seen her. She works on the set of CSI. So whenever they have an actor or an actress doing a skull reconstruction, it's Karen Taylor's hand you're actually seeing. She is a real forensic artist. She's out of Towson, out of Texas, and she's worked very, very famous cases. She literally wrote the books on forensic art. She's like my best friend. We talk a lot. Everybody in my field knows Karen Taylor. Betty Pat Gatliff, she wrote the book on 3D skull reconstruction. So when you see a skull, they put the clay on it, make that bust. She actually did all the work, did all the measurements off cadavers and created the system that we use. Stephen Mancusi out of the NYPD, he's very famous in our field as well. I trained under him. He's more known for the 9/11 attacks. He was actually sitting outside of the World Trade Centers when they fell. He's completely covered in ash. He wants to get home, trying to make sure his family's fine, and they called him back in to do sketches. Ray Rozicki, he is the composite artist for Timothy McVeigh. Very, very skilled artist, teaches down at the FBI Academy. He actually met with me in January of this year to start joining, I guess, the task force with the FBI to help him out. Us as artists, since we're very, very far and few in between, we're kind of like an extension of the FBI. So if you need somebody in our area, instead of him traveling from Quantico, you can just call me and I try to assist wherever possible. And lastly, Marla and Kelly Lawson. Marla, the one on the left, she actually just retired from Georgia Bureau of Investigation with 36 years in the department. She trained her daughter Kelly to do the composites, and right now they're probably the best in the nation. I'd love to learn their style. They do everything with charcoal. And she is known for the sketch of Eric Rudolph during the Olympic bombings in 1996. Two of my colleagues, George Molina out of Texas, we're forever critiquing each other's work, and Larry Booty out of New Jersey, he just retired, but their level is way above mine, so we use each other to, like I said, critique work and make sure what's being presented is pretty decent. The Police Foundation, as you heard him speak, this was the first speaker. Without the Police Foundation, I would not be here. Because the amount of training that I need to keep certification costs a lot of money, and it's not in Baltimore County. I have to travel all over the United States, wherever they have their meetings each year. I cannot fund that myself, and I understand the county doesn't always have the money. The Police Foundation has always pulled through, and because of them, I was able to get my certification. So what is forensic art? It aids in the identification, apprehension, and convictions of criminals. It aids in the location of crime victims, and it aids in the identification of unknown or deceased persons. So basically, it's any art that is used in the legal system. It's used for the courts. You will not see my work hanging up on anybody's walls.